Good afternoon, Free Enterprise fans. Saturday action continues with our third featured race of the day. We're featuring two runners, Gundampilotspaz and Oscredwin, trying to make their path a little easier as they try to make advance to the bracket rounds as we approach the second half of the Swiss rounds of the Lali-Ho League. Behind the scenes today, we have Euphoric Lemon putting together the restream, Gambit 017 tracking our racer's progress and pushing the buttons. I'm Harumph, and with me in the booth today is kind of nerdy housewife, KNH. How are you this?
I am doing good. And right now I am looking at those two randomized objectives. We have two boss hunts, and they're two of the easier bosses. We have Water Hag, which of course is a scripted fight. All you have to do is damage Water Hag 3 times, it goes ARG and then disappears. And we also have the Officer. The Officer is one of those rare bosses that does not have the boss bit and thus can be easily defeated with instant death spells and is vulnerable to all sorts of status effects. So, finding those bosses might be difficult, but defeating them, probably not.
Yeah, our racers might be breathing an initial sign of relief here, but it all depends on where the seed takes them and how long it takes to find them. Because if you have vanilla locations, they're gonna be fine. Well, was it vanilla-ish locations? I guess because Waterhead can't be purely vanilla. Uh, but we'll see here if they're gated behind anything nasty along the way. Looks like we've got a Porum start as well here. Thoughts on that?
Porum's not a bad start. Of course, as with all white mages, she doesn't have much DPS in the beginning, unless you find something like a heroin robe and a Artemis bow. But she does learn a lot of those utility spells really early. Things like Blink, Berserk, Exit. She learns those much earlier than the other white mages. So while she is a useful early game character, a pretty decent mid game character, her rather dismal HP growth keeps her from being a really good end game character. So you're hoping to find a Fusoya or a Rosa along the way to replace her.
Yeah, you definitely want to have a good supporting cast here when you go down to that final showdown against Zeromus. Looks like we'll be underway here in about a minute or so.
Yep, and of course we have our three objectives that have been in every seed in this match or in this round, which is complete the Cave Magnus, have Coco Forge Legend with the Adamant, and trade the Pink Tail to the Tail Trader.
Yep, any four of those objectives will get you the crystal, which will let you review here our Z's true form in order to beat him.
Yeah, we should be, and it looks like we're getting started here.
All right, we'll see who poor Matt has to travel along to begin, and we have Iridia. And the issue with DPS, but we do have a Sand Ruby here, so we're gonna get a third character, gated character right away. So we could see that edge. We could see that from Soida come into play immediately.
Yep, this is a pretty low DPS, low HP start, but luckily we do have that third character check immediately available. We also have a ungated character check on Mount Hobbs, so we'll be able to fill out our party pretty quickly here.
Yeah, you see the Iridia right away here. You're thinking you're gonna have the damn problem. So once you see the Sand Ruby, you're breathing a bit more of a sigh of relief, depending on who's behind there, of course. Who's laying in bed. Oscredwin and Gundam both making their way here to Kaipo to see who's in bed, and likely add them to add whoever is lying there into the party.
And it looks like we have another Rydia, so that is not going to solve our DPS or our low HP problems, but just getting another character in the party can be helpful in itself.
Yeah, popular use of Rydia in these seeds is as an agility anchor here, because at level 1 here she's got base agility of 4 here, which will put most other characters at RA2, RA1, even at their base levels. So with 2 Rydias here, you could, if you find a good summon along the way here, like a Bahamut here, a Sylph, or Leviathan, for example, here, you could have one casting those summon spells, having one as the anchor here, and that'll solve your DPS issues very quickly.
Yeah, Bridia does need enough MP to cast those summons, though. Let's see, looks like we're starting out with a little early game looting, but our runner's going to different place for that. Gundam Pilot, actually looks like Gundam Pilot is going to unmoor the hovercraft. This is something I find myself doing a lot in this flag set. Because of the fact you have to trade in that pigtail, that means there's a high likelihood you'll need the hovercraft, so might as well get it out from the underground now.
Yep. Gundam now going back in to loot the Damsian basement. See what items, armor, weapons he can find here to make the first part of the seed here go a little easier.
Yep, Gundam Pilot looting out Damsian Castle. Ooh, a curse ring in there. That's always useful for agility anchoring.
That solves your agility problems right there. Here now you can, power up both your Rydias here potentially to get the early game started.
Oscred taking the a little bit slower back here in the Watery Pass, but also the loot here is a little bit higher tier too. Your probability of finding better gear is a little bit higher in this area.
Oscredwin doing a deeper dive here, which we don't see super often here, unless you have some of an exit spell right away here. Just trying to seeing if there's an item there that can provide any additional advantage.
Yep, going through that hidden path I never found as a kid.
It's surprising how many paths you find out only years after you play the game.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you find out here that your fights here have been, you could have done them so much far easier, far easier.
Okay, looks like Gundam Pilot's going to check out Rydia's free summon. In this randomizer, if Rydia goes to Hobbs, rather than learning the fire spell as she would in the vanilla game, she will learn a randomly chosen summon. Sometimes it's useful, sometimes it's the imp summon. You never know what you're going to get.
Yeah. Oscredwin is equipping his party members here, and we'll go into the back door of Hobbs here to take a peek at the boss there, as well as the character. So we'll see if they meet in the middle.
One thing you notice here is we are starting with a Dwarven starting kit that is given more twins. Oh dear.
We got bombs in the front and bombs in the back.
We do. The bomb spell, not terribly useful. It's a little bit better than the Chocobo spell that Rydia starts with, but not a huge amount. But it looks like we have an all tiny children party right now. 2 Rydia, 2 twins. The nice thing is that any 2 twins can do the twin spell. It doesn't have to be Palom and Porum. It can be Porum and Porum or Palom and Palom.
Yep, and with this starting equipment of a rune spell here, you're getting that little extra boost as well. So even with a double Porum twin will hit, but Mom Bomb here, the party might be a little bit too feeble right now here to be able to absorb all the hits here before Mom Bomb explodes.
Ooh, and Gundam Pilot's resetting out of that Mom Bomb, but oh good, did actually leave a save after looting. So that's going to be nice. Won't have to abandon that treasure. Meanwhile, Oscred has decided to go into the Antlion Cave, a very common early game play, both because the boss down here has very low stats, and also because it is a pretty high density of treasure chests per the amount of walking you're doing.
GPS taking a trip to Baron here to take a peek at the shops here. Not peeking the character though, as of yet.
Well, and it looks like we're going to complete an objective here because we have found the officer.
Yeah, that was quick.
Not hiding too hard today.
Yep.
Even with this low level, low DPS party, this shouldn't be too bad. As you can see, the soldiers are the only ones who attack, and they're doing exactly 1 damage against our rune rings.
Yes, so now our credit won't be able to get as much experience out of it here because most what will likely happen is that the officer will retreat here. So the only experience gathered will be from the 3 soldiers. But at this point here, you're going to take any experience you're going to get here to make your party a little bit a little sturdier.
Yep, you're always happy to get Rydia out of that 30 HP zone. And an earth crystal to go with our already completed objective. That's a pretty good key item. It opens up 2 boss checks, which, because we're still looking for that water hag, is great. It also opens up 2 character checks and 1 key item check.
And that treasury here, again, you're trying to find any advantage you can. It is a max tier 6 treasury here, so you're not going to find super high powered your super high tier items here, like like a white shirt here, for example, dragoon spears, crystal swords, that like here. But you can still find a lot of good gear here for a mage party here. A Stardust Rod would be great for this party at this point.
Yep, some summons for our Rydias would be nice too.
Right, Oscredwin wasting no time to raid that treasury.
Let's see what we get here. Meanwhile, Gundam Pilot not fading at Lion and will be rewarded for it. Ooh, that Leviathan summon.
Yes. And an Asura here, so you've got cure. So you got cure. You've got additional sources of cure as well here. If you do find that heroine robe along the way here.
Yep, that Leviathan summon. Once Rydia has enough MP to use it once, it really can carry you through the first half of the seed.
Yeah, like that's definitely going to be a game changer here.
Ooh, and Gundam Pilot actually using the bomb summon on that officer, only doing 38 damage.
Yeah, like I'm not sure what items they found along the way here, but Gundam GPS's party is everyone's in the front row here, so they'll be able to get a lot more damage, and they're going to take a lot more damage here when they get hit. Porum not so much here, because I believe she is fully equipped here. So yeah, this will go slowly here, but the Rydias here might take a fall along the way.
Oscred doing a little shopping, not finding too much useful. The shops are also tiered, so those shops behind key items are more likely to have good stuff in them.
It does take a few vampires to, again, here, a little bit early damage here. Again, with the Leviathans, you still need to get Rydia here up to high enough levels here to be able to cast Leviathan.
Yeah, Oscred's seed's gonna get a lot easier once he gets to that level.
That man looks like he's just getting ready here before going in to take on to defend the Fool Castle. Gundampilotspaz does have his Earth Crystal, so he will likely be making a trip over to Troya Castle shortly.
Yep, and we see Oscred saving outside of Fabul, very likely to do the Fabul defense check.
All right, and we'll see who's making the attack. And we have Baigen.
This might be a good time to throw that Star Veil we just got. Especially since Rydia does, Oscred demonstrating there, Rydia does not have enough MP to summon that Leviathan yet. Thinking about whether he wants to go back in or not.
Because you have even with the vampires here, one vampire likely won't take out the Baigen's body here, and once vampires cast here, Baigen's going to cast Wall here, so that'll pretty much lock the party out of being able to use another vampire. It's a case of whether there's enough damage here to be able to get through that at that point here, and Oscredwin's thinking no, and going back to Mount Hobbs to grab another Porum and see if that helps.
Not a bad move here. Like I said, that twin spell can be very useful. Though the twin spell has a random chance of doing either flare or stardust. Stardust is not reflectable when cast as a twin spell, but flare is.
Yeah. Gundampilotspaz going into the Barrier, finds a Cecil at the inn here, but the first boss, oh boy, that's Val.
Yeah, I don't think anyone on this party is going to have enough accuracy to attack through her tornado form. And yeah, Vivalis's tornado form, if you didn't know, drastically increases both her physical and magical evasion. And if your accuracy is not high enough, she is not going to let any attacks hit her.
Now, fortunately here, we know here that the path underground here can't be gated by Val here, so that Baron in spot here won't gate a hook or a hook and mag key or a path to either of those key items, to either those two away underground. Underground will need to be from another key item check.
Oscred using that Stardust to get through the bomblets and acquiring a second twin.
Yeah.
Gundam Pilot here going into Castle Ablan. This is really high tier loot in here, but the danger is there's a lot of very dangerous trap chests in here, and the location of the trap chests are randomized, so you got to be careful. If you run into one of those trap chests, it's game over.
Oscredwin making his way back to Fabul Castle with the second Porum, but probably more importantly here, Rydian will now have enough MP to be able to cast Leviathan, and that will one-shot Baigen.
Yep, as long as Baigen's arms decide to have at least semi-decent RNG, we should be good here. One of those Rydias is going to get that Leviathan off.
Yeah. There's not enough there covering those arms for this to be any trouble now.
Gundam Pilot definitely struggling a little bit. Not sure how to handle this low-level party right now. Looks like might be just doing some random battles here. It is really easy. I mean, this is not a super easy early seed here, and I can definitely see going into panic mode a little bit. Meanwhile, the King of Fabul gave us a hook. That's pretty cool.
Cool here. It is a gated character check. Yeah, this is not the ideal party here if this is indeed a hook route.
No, those hook bosses can squish little mages very quickly. Yeah, right now, the big difference, though, is Oscred raiding that treasury, that Leviathan, helping out huge here. Gundam Pilot, without finding that Leviathan, is just a little bit lost here and just looking for any way forward.
Yeah, here and with the random fights, depending on who you get here, like even these here can take a bit of time here if you don't have enough damage here to put out. Right, Oscredwin is like so it looks like Oscredwin's going to bring up the hovercraft to
I
um
think
I,
Oscred didn't know what Oscred was doing there for a minute. It's really easy to get flustered with these low DPS early starts. I wouldn't be surprised if Oscred goes checks that hook character. Unfortunately, I haven't seen a source of exit yet, so you might have to walk back out of there. It's possible we did pick up an exit item in some of that cave looting, but just getting a character with a little more DPS could be a good way to go. But instead is checking some of these quick boss locations for Water Hag. Um, no Water Hag in the waterfall, just some very creepy dolls.
is taking the fight though here, but yeah, Leviathan is Rydia's actually doing work now.
Yep, just getting a little more HP on those Rydias is going to be helpful, so that the bosses who do physical attacks just don't immediately knock them down.
Yeah, from a level standpoint here with the Leviathan, even a few of the trap chests in Cave Eplin here start to become a lot more viable. Eplin Castle, pardon me.
Ooh, finding a black robe, that's nice. In the back of the waterfall here. That'll be great on one of our Rydias. Gundam Pilot, meanwhile, heading up ordeals. Feeling better with a few more levels on his characters. This could be either very difficult or very doable, depending on which bosses are up here.
Taking the save here before taking a peek. Oscredwin taking a peek at the first few chests here. This being a gated location here with one trap chest.
Immediately, we find that trap chest, and Oscred just slams that reset button. But the good news is now he knows which chest is trapped, so he can safely loot every single other chest down here, of which there are a lot. Ooh, and loaded a blonde shop. We got hourglasses and Bacchus, both very useful items.
Mute bells as well here. Almost everything, aside from sirens, almost everything you want in an item shop.
Gundam Pilot finding an Octomam up here. This is not bad. Those physical attacks are going to hurt his very, very squishy team. But the nice thing is the more you attack Octomam, the more arms it loses and the slower it gets. And once you knock off a few of those arms, this becomes a very manageable fight.
Yeah, we are seeing, we are seeing here that the Leviathan is being critical because even though even though the fight is manageable for sure, it's going to take a lot more time than what Crescent would have dealt with even at these levels here because of having access here to that Leviathan.
Oscred dealing with the inventory. Did you know that Final Fantasy IV has a limited inventory? But also finding that Sylph summon in Cave El Blanc, that's a great summon for Rydia. It both does decent damage and heals the party, a dual utility summon, and is very useful for basically most of the seed right up until the end.
Yeah, in this case here, it's a luxury of riches here at this point here. He's fighting a lot of more great gear here, a life staff, for here to beef up those curatives.
And it looks like we have a cane that is being pestered by a Rubicante sprite. Of course, that could be Rubicante, or it could be him and his element buddies.
Yeah. Also, well, importantly here, a source of damage here. Also, and Oscredwin hasn't checked the Baron in yet here, but Kane will make that fight far easier,
Oh, and
doable even.
we have a Golbez. This is actually not the worst spot for Golbez, because the fact it's a back attack does give you a little bit of extra time to get up that Star Veil. And once you get up a Star Veil, this fight isn't too bad. But if you don't get that Star Veil up in time, those magic spells can take you out pretty quick.
Yeah, any of the magic spells here will one shot these characters here. So if you lose out on the 50-50, that will if you don't get your Star Veil up in time here, you're taking a wipe here.
And that's especially disappointing because his big villainous monologue is quite time consuming. Oh, the RNG is good. We should get the Star Veil up. And after this, Golbez should do most of the damage to himself. You do actually have to bop him once in order to trigger his Y script that makes him say Y, and then he disappears.
Yeah.
Rude. You get up that Rydia and she gets knocked right back down. I understand that Gundam Pilot is trying to...
Yeah.
Rude, Golbez, rude. Yeah, decides, okay, fine. I won't have Rydia get the experience. Yes, this Gambit, our tracker, is saying Golbez confirmed not liking Rydia.
I think the border IA was trying to send a message. Porm, you can stay up. Rydia's take a longer nap.
That was 3 times in a row. That was 50-50 shot, coin flip, and you lose 3 times in a row. Oscred now joining a Gundam Pilot up on Mount Ordeals. What's nice for Gundam Pilot is you do get a free heal on the top of the mountain both before and after the boss fight.
And we'll see what the key item is we have in store.
Ooh, it's a harp!
Yep, that is another objective available to our runners. And maybe a third? Nope, just the alt gauntlet.
Ooh, so this is actually one of my favorite alt gauntlets because you actually get a decent amount of experience from these fights, whereas normally this fight would give you no experience, but when it's the gauntlet, it gives you a lot of experience. Now, the problem here is Gundam Pilot's team is still rather fragile, and the risk of taking a wipe here is pretty big. Looks like Gundam Pilot's gonna skip out on this gauntlet for now. I don't necessarily think it is a bad move. It is a long fight, and his party is low DPS and a little bit squishy. Hopefully he goes and raids that treasury, because I think that's just going to make his life a lot easier.
And I think I might have missed an item here that Oscredwin looted along the way, because I did see a heroine robe in play. So yeah, he's got tons of damage now here. He'll get some good news as well here once he goes into Baron Inn.
It's Oscred's turn to face the true terror.
Cutscene will be a little bit longer here as there are a few more characters to knock down. But Porum dodges it, so also Oscredwin here will likely be able to get that Star Veil off in time. Assuming here Porum doesn't get knocked mute.
Unfortunately, this came out a little bit late. Let's see
Board
if he.
AIs of dislike of Rydia confirmed. Both Rydias also go down.
Luckily, Kane. Well, we'll see if Kane gets the experience here. But getting off that Star Veil,
Yeah,
so we'll get through this fight. The question is, does Kane get any of that juicy experience?
yeah. I didn't see a Starveil go up though, which
No,
worries
Corum got
me.
one up
Did she? Oh, at the very beginning, maybe.
at the
Maybe not.
very. She's good. And now Kane has one, so we Kane is also gonna get this experience.
Which is yes, yeah. So Oscredwin's party is shaping up nicely now. Um, makes quick work of the Golbez. Well, about as quick as you can make with with
Yeah,
any
Golbez is
Golbez.
not exactly a quick boss, but you do your best.
Yeah, so a full, more well-stocked party here. A with enough levels here to be able to get through the alt gauntlets, and not and going in without taking a save. Again, this should be okay.
I see Gundam Pilot going around Toria, really hoping he checks the castle.
Yeah, when you get an early castle with a party as squishy as this this one here, it may not necessarily come to mind right away here as you want to go to Troya Castle, because your party likely is going to be strong enough to take on, to go up the Tower of Zot here. So maybe avoiding as a whole here, but forgetting here that there's a treasury available along the way. But does make his way into the castle and will see the good or maybe bad news here. Once he may feel even further behind here once he sees what was available here.
Yep, and Oscred taking full advantage of this extra experience. His Porum's learning Berserk, which is going to be a great help for that Kane. Having that Leviathan summon and that AoE damage, just tearing through these random encounters. And he does, excellent. Gundam's going to be very happy to see that Leviathan summon, and
Happy to see the Leviathan summon. Not sure about the inventory boss.
yes. Makes you appreciate modern, non-limited inventories. But yeah, I actually love getting Alt Gauntlet here because these Liliths give you a surprising amount of experience for the overworld, and because they're undead, there's many ways to take them out.
Yeah, about the one thing you can't do with them here is life glitch them.
Yeah, that is true.
Well, an extra 2750 per Lilith here is you're going to take that any day of the week here at these levels.
And Gundam Pilot getting that Leviathan summon, gonna be super happy about that. Because we can see how much right now it's helping his opponent. That's been the big difference between the two so far. Is Oscred went to that treasury right away, got that Leviathan summon. You can life glitch the two Gliliths though. Oh no, you can't because they're undead. Never mind. Haha.
Yep. And there's a Sylph along the way as well here. So yeah, the early game is pretty much almost free at this point.
And there we go. So I think the only thing that'll keep Oscred from possibly going and turning in that harp is the lack of physical attack, just with the one cane right now.
Yeah.
The one disadvantage of that Cave Magnus boss is it has ridiculously high magic defense, so your magic attack's not going to be very useful there.
Oscredwin does have a heroine robe in the inventory, so like with the bone arrow, Either one of the forums here can be online here as a secondary DPS. But yeah, a, a more robust one here might be in order. Fortunately, we do know there is one available.
Yeah, and the
Oscar,
Leviathan by itself is probably going to be able to break through that magic defense a little bit, but it is not going to crush it like it has with these other boss spots.
yeah, that is true.
Meanwhile, Gundam Pilot, feeling a little bit behind, has gone to the tower and will be facing Rubicante.
So we now
Um,
know here that element at the Rubicante spots.
yep, that is very true. This Leviathan gonna be a huge help here. This should be doable as long as you take it nice and slow. Make sure you heal up from any of those counter fire twos.
I'm not sure that Leviathan isn't putting up enough here. There's about 9,000, around 9,000 HP.
Yeah, and he still
Oh,
doesn't have a
yeah,
ton of MP on those
yeah,
Rydias.
yeah. This is gonna
Oscar,
take.
meanwhile, gonna go play us some music. Do you want to explain our upcoming Easter egg here?
Sure. Right. So, in the vanilla game here, Edward plays a lovely tune, but um, that was close to 30 years ago. Here, Edward's learned a few other tunes in his time in that time here. So he's gone from one song here to over 240 songs, I believe here, different songs here that he can play here to break the Dark Elf spell. And shortly here, we'll hear what our harp, what our resident harp musician here will be playing for us today. Once once the party realizes here that they're not going to get through Dark Elf on their own.
Yep, so we'll be quiet for a minute so you can hear pretty songs.
And now he presents Edward.
And there we go. Those Dark Imps not posing much of a challenge to Oscred's team. The song being Neon Knight Riders from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles NES game.
You'll hear
Oscred completing that objective, but only finding a power shirt.
power shirt is not the thing. There are worse things to find than a power shirt. I'll take that any day of the week. But that is the second objective down as well. Gundam Pilot does make it through the Rubicon tape.
Yay! That was a hard fight and a long time investment, though, so we'll have to see if it pays off. I wouldn't be surprised if Oscred here is going for the Twin Harp directly into Earth Crystal. That is a common and very good routing decision. Cuts down on a lot of your airship travel.
Airships here are fast, but there's still a takeoff time here to account for. Gundam taking a rest, and we'll see here who the other two characters are. And we'll try to get through the seeing who is going to guard the top of Zods.
Ooh, an edge is nice to see.
Yeah.
Of course, with the C Neki flag, he's only going to come with 2 relatively low-level weapons.
Worst
Might just
one.
be 1, actually. But he doesn't come with, his cool black belts or his silver gloves. Just some not very good weapons and more twins, but at least this twin knows black magic.
Yes, sir. Now it's Gundam. Please figure out who's going to stay in the. Oh, actually, no. That will be characters 4 and 5 for him.
Ooh.
I
don't know where we picked up that Masamune, or the Murasame, but that's going to be a big help.
Yeah. Gundam now has his source of physical damage. There's Oscredwin following Gundampilotspaz up the tower. Zot is taking on the Rubicon fight there. This fight here should be considerably faster for him. And we have a Pale Dim.
Unfortunately, I believe Pale Dim counters summons with Quake.
That would be correct.
This might be, but I don't think the magic power is going to be super bad here. But I'm scared. No, bam. Yeah, that's an easy one to forget. No, I was wrong. This is, magic power is really strong here. Whole team dead. Sad face.
Yeah.
So if you're going to pro tip, if you are going to cast summons on Pale Dim, please make sure that you use float first.
Float, or make sure he knocks down and doesn't get back up.
Oh, I'm getting a little stream, but I'm gonna refresh here.
Alright, Gundam Pilot Spaz. Re-equipping Edge for the second attempt at the Pale Dim.
I imagine will not use a summon this time.
Yep. Oscredwin makes his way past Rubicante. Now we'll find his Edge and Pal there, and then he'll have a decision to make.
Okay, it's back. I'm sorry, I'm trying to figure out if it's my internet or not, because my router gets very angry sometimes.
So it's like may have a side-by-side Pale Dim fight here. Gundampilotspaz going into the fight here for attempt number 2 at Pale Dim. Oscredwin choosing to...
Thinking very hard about it.
Let's to ditch the second Porum.
But why can't I hold all this equipment in my inventory?
I can hold 50 Grillion cabins here, but the moment I add a life potion, it screams at me.
One extra arrow and suddenly everything's a mess.
Oscred able to back row glitch here the Edge as well with that boomerang, with a power bow here, with also with the power shirt here. That Edge is going to be doing some serious damage.
Yeah, for sure. We can already see that happening on Gundam Pilot's side. That Edge putting out some pretty good damage numbers.
This will be short work.
Especially since Oscred's Porums no Berserk.
Porum.
Well, yeah, that's true. Well, in my defense, he had another Porum like 5 seconds ago.
That is true. Yeah, Pale Dim here will not be long for this world here. With, an Edge here insistent on slicing and dicing anything in front of him. Gundam does get through the Pale Dim's fight. We'll soon make a quick escape, and we'll see here what item has fallen down. See the Baron Castle along with the party.
Let's see, getting those level 2 elemental spells on the fresh Palum.
Gun will get the spells here. Oscredwin here choosing not to take the Palom here, instead electing to stick with 2 Ridias here. Understandable here, given here that early on here, because of that Leviathan spell here, Quake, getting, you don't necessarily need to get to, levels here for Quake, for example.
Yeah, that's for sure. Looks like Gundam Pilot gonna use that free transportation and go right to the Baronin fight.
Luke was found here at the Tower of Zot here, so that's another check that opens up here once they make their way underground.
So the nice thing about this is Edge's Dart command does have a 100% accuracy. So if you're desperate, you can always throw a weapon you're not using and actually get through this fight.
Yeah. Edge is able to get a breakthrough here, so another swing from Edge here, and this should take Val down. And we have a pretty straightforward fight here afterwards here with Dr. Dialogue, who may not be talking much.
No, I don't even think, yeah. Not even gonna say anything. That's something you don't see too often.
Nope. Yep, and yeah.
Leviathan go roar, and everyone explode.
Ooh, that's spicy.
Nice. So it was looking like a hook route for the longest time, but we do in fact have a magma key. Also, hi Cecil.
And Vi-Second Rydia. And shout out to Cub Rule 21. Thank you for the raid.
But once again, why can't I hold all this equipment in my inventory?
What if Waterhag was at the Queen Evelyn spot all along? We're probably never going to find that out till the very end, if at all, at this point. Because, yeah, why fight in elements? Why fight 2 bosses when you can go down to the other ground for free?
Now, getting this Cecil is probably going to point Gundam Pilot back towards that alt gauntlet at the top of Mount Ordeals. The nice thing for Oscred is he's already done that fight, so his Cecil is a paladin.
Yes. Gundampilotspaz here, tracing back steps here because the early game here was a little unkind. Oscredwin here will making his way underground here. We'll see where he goes first here. Whether he starts to go for those free objectives. or decides to with this party here take on well, do a few other checks here beforehand.
Yep, Oscred has done most of the overworld. There's a couple of free checks down here. You got the unguarded chest in the Feymarsh, and you also can go talk to Yang and report back to Sheila. That is also an unguarded key item. We did pick up that Luca key, but it looks like of all those options, Oscred here is going to decide to go pay King Gaiet and Princess Luca a visit.
It's a check here that I like to make as well here. In a boss hunt, it is two boss character chests, two boss checks. The key item check is something that I like. Is nice as well. Nice thing to do here is just in case it happens to be that pan. Oscredwin does find a curse ring for sale at the Dwarf Castle shop here, so that is the anchoring situation taken care of, and coffins at the item shop as well. So yeah, pretty decent stuff available for sale today.
Yep, and with this edge, I feel that Gundam Pilot's going to have a lot easier time with this gauntlet. Should be through and getting their twin harp very shortly.
Looks like Oscredwin may have just been doing paid a visit here to do some shopping initially here. May decide to come back later on.
Yep, this is a gated shop, so it will have a higher percent chance of having good things. And good things are good things to have.
And just re-equipping some stuff here. The heroine rope no longer needed here on Porum here, because you no longer need to have her act as the as a physical damage dealer here. You have 3 well-armed combatants to put up physical damage. Oscredwin sees an Odin and says, "No thanks."
Yeah, that spot is pretty fast, and you're gonna have to do quite a bit of damage in enough time to take down that Odin.
Yep. Instead decides to go take a visit here to the Feymarsh.
Yep, that's not a bad idea. Like I said, there is a ungated key item check down here, and also the quite a bit of decent treasure chests as well.
Yeah, Oscredwin here only choosing to loot a few of them along the way, and another power shirt. No key item here, but
well, it's
gear.
good for our melee characters at least.
Yeah, look, I'm not sure how much more looting here Oscredwin here will need to do here. Aside here from a weapon for either Cecil or Kane here. I believe I did see an ogre. Cecil does have an ogre axe on right now here, which isn't the biggest source of power in the world here, but is good enough.
It'll get the job done.
Yeah.
Does have a rune axe too, so that's good for Kane or for Cecil. And let's see if Oscred gives us a peek at these Feymarsh bosses. Looks like it. Ooh. So we have a Mylon of some flavor and a vanilla Leviathan.
White Spear King. Oh, White Spear King. Wow.
White Spear Cane
Yeah,
will tear through that Mylon pretty good. Yeah. As long as you can keep everyone alive.
I'm thinking about it here. The Leviathan here is potentially will be a little easier spot here. That spot here, you don't want to see anyone. You don't want to see a boss here that deals a lot of physical attacks here, because that spot hits like a brick. Leviathan it's only going to cast Big Wave and Ice 2s here, so that would should that fight come into play here, that fight will be quite manageable.
Ooh, looks like we might be getting the spicy keyless tower play here. Or we could just be, stealing sirens. That works too. There is in the trap chests in this particular dungeon, there is an enemy called an alert. And from that, you can steal sirens using Edge's, what is it, sneak command?
Yes, sneak here will.
But, if he fails, it hurts him. And when he only has 1 HP, that's going to be a slight problem.
Now, the other potential issue is that we've come into the inventory boss. If Oscredwin's inventory is full, he won't be able to steal anything.
Yes, and it doesn't give you any indication of that either. You'll just fail over and over again. Oh, but he did get one, so he does have at least 1 slot in his inventory. And the other thing we're seeing is the instance of the use of the cry command.
I'm not again. The cry command here might be more black in this scenario here. Might be even more of a stranger black magic than even agility anchoring. I'm not sure. Like, it's probably the one use for cry in the entire game that I've made use of.
Yeah, it has to do with a shared variable, is my understanding of it. So, in the original game, of course, you're never going to have Porum and Edge in the same party. So the variable that they were using for Edge's steal success rate is the same one that Porum's cry command uses, just trying to save a little memory there. But this is a randomizer, and we can do that. So Porum's cry command will actually increase Edge's steal percentage.
Skull Kitty here mentioned that the intent of cry was to make enemies want to run away.
I know in the remakes and modern games, they changed cry to actually lower the enemy's defense, and so in, say, the 3DS remake, it's actually extremely useful. In the USA version, which this randomizer is based off of, not so much. The only thing it's good for is that one borderline case.
The edge case.
Yes, an edge case. That's excellent. Why did I not think of that? Ooh, looks like we got a trapdoor at the top of the tower. This is probably doable, but it's not going to be super easy.
Wall isn't fun at even in the best of spots.
Yep, and Oscred being like, I'm going to save here first. Not a bad idea.
Gundampilotspaz making took a dip down to Fade March. Grab the power shirt here. Just gonna go pay Yang a visit now.
Yep, it's always good to say hi to your friends.
And then come back later to hit him in the face with a pan.
Well, you have to tattle to his wife first.
Yes, it can't just be any pan, I suppose. Alright. Ever seen a jumping wall? Well, here you go.
That's a very active wall. Getting in that wall exercise. I mean, this wall already can move forward on its own, so I guess dancing is not too far removed from that.
Yep, and in this game here, we take down walls. We don't sidestep them.
And Pierre, aren't garage doors just jumping walls when you really think about it? Yeah, I think I can agree with that.
Walls on very slow bungee cords, maybe.
So the nice thing for Gundam Pilot is going to get 2 key item checks out of this Fabul trip rather than just the one that Oscred did. Or no, Oscred reset out of Fabul, I think, so never mind.
don't recall actually. In any case, here the evil wall here is won't be putting up resistance for too much longer.
Yeah, we see Cecil using some cover strats there, taking those physical hits for his teammates. And of course, we're still leaning pretty heavy on that Leviathan summon.
Yeah, no, Oscredwin did have the hooker, but I don't think he's checked, paid a visit to Yang here, so it doesn't have. So would have maybe. So the Sheila one check will be new to us.
Our tracker pointing out, yes, Oscred has completed Fabul, which had the hook. That makes a lot of sense. But Gundam Pilot will be getting a hook soon from the very generous King of Fabul.
No ship though. Still want the ship.
Then you're gonna have to play a different randomizer. And let's see, the best housewife has a rat tail. We do have a hook, so we can turn that in right away for another key item check.
Maybe I won't go pay Sheila a visit for dinner tonight.
If she's keeping a rat tail in her kitchen, yeah, maybe not. Oh, here's some scraps left over from dinner.
Ugh.
Ew, I grossed myself out.
Speaking, Oscredwin does find the pan at the top of the tower though here, so we'll only be making one more trip to Fabul and one trip to Yang to visit friends and apply some percussive maintenance onto Yang.
Well, we traded in a rat tail and we got a Baron key. Now that's interesting because that opens up 3 different boss checks, one of which is very difficult, and one of which we already know. And it opens up a character check, and it opens up 2 key item checks. Unfortunately, one of those key item checks is behind that really difficult boss. So we'll see which way Gundam Pilot goes here. And it is time for the bonk.
And we'll see what Sylphs provide.
A pigtail! Ooh, that is one of our objective items. And we do have a hook, so we can turn it in.
That would be the third of the 4 required objectives for Oscredwin here. So we'll either need to find a water hag or both pieces of both the ledge sword and adamants.
Yep. And the question is, which one of those comes first? You could always get one of those super hidden bosses, like behind the package or in the giants. And if your water hag's there, it might be easier to find both halves of the forge.
Well, and that's a nice steal for Edge.
Yeah, you're always happy to see one of those whenever you have a ninja on your team.
Right, and Oscredwin here will be making having a chat with Sheila. We'll find the rat tail and another item here once the pan is returned. Not sure how it made its way up to the Tower of Babel, but Sheila's glad to have it back, I guess.
Yeah, I kind of want to know that story. I mean, I've lost a pan before, but I haven't lost it that bad.
Ooh, pan is hard required. That is a legend sword from Sheila. How did she get her hands on that?
I guess she was using it to chop off rat tails.
Well, I guess you need, some decent, some decent blades here to make to prep dinner.
It's true. So we're going to
Yeah.
get a repeat of music here. So I'm going to be quiet for just a little bit so we can hear it again. And of Gundam Pilot having no problem with those dark imps. Now I'm curious to see this because no one has checked Vanilla Mist Cave yet. And it's neither Water Hag nor the Mist Dragon, so not very useful this seed.
Gundam makes gets the second of the four of 4 or 5 objectives, four of to complete the four to get halfway through the objective counts. We'll see where his pathing will take him here. He may be inclined to take some more risks at this point here. Keyless Tower could be perceived as a risk, so if he does follow that routing here, the gap could be narrowed considerably.
Oscred doing the Choco check. There is one treasure chest in each of the little chocobo forests. And is likely going through the barren sewers here.
Yeah, I believe at this point here, the only checks left here would be the Fey March and the Sealed Cave.
And I was watching Oscred rearrange some equipment while we were listening to music, and he has a fully loaded edge right now. Samurai hat, 2 Masamunes, a power robe, just fully kitted out edge.
Gundam bring the hovercraft over here to by the Eblin Cave here. We'll likely making a character, taking a peek at the character, doing some shopping here. Could also potentially take a cheeky peek at the King Queen Eblin spot just in case the Water Hag does happen to be there.
Yep, we haven't seen the Mist Dragon either, too. So that's 2 bosses we're kind of keeping our eyes out for. But of course, we know who's here already. We saw it at the beginning of the seed. It's just a King and Queen Eblin. This is a scripted boss fight. You can either let them run through their script where they'll cast fire until they burn themselves out, or when you have this powerful of an edge, you can just take a few swings with your ninja sword and take them out even faster than their script would allow.
Most likely in frustration here that I wish you were in the basement.
Yeah, that would be a much better spot for them, but less fun for us.
We like fun here. We appreciate a little bit of fun here, but we also don't want to see our runners suffer too much, or do we?
I think that depends on the individual. I just think it's interesting to see all kinds of different races. I've really been enjoying the flag set this year just because you do see all different kinds of seeds. You see super easy seeds, you see super hard seeds, you see a lot of stuff in the middle, some interesting edge cases. But we have a karate man. This is also free because we have a paladin Cecil. And this karate man has a script as well that after he does a few punches and kicks, if a paladin Cecil specifically bops him, he will say ouch and just kind of give up.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Also, yeah, also probably another boss you wish were in the basement, maybe. At least we have a Cecil in your party.
Yep, and it looks like Gundam Pilot also surfing through the barren sewers here and will be joining Oscred soon. And
And
it's an Edward. Edward does have edge case uses. There are certain situations in which he is useful. We have none of those right now, so bye, Edward. I really like your music.
he's been assigned here he's been promoted here to audience member. Alright, soon here we're going to go dumpster diving in there and see what's lying around for us.
Yep, it is a long way to that pot.
You do want to have
So
some distance between the building and the garbage. You don't want the castle to smell.
that's true. Look at someone had to build all those stairs. And an Avenger. Well, that's going to be excellent for Arcane slash Cecil.
Yeah,
But it is not progress. So I would not be surprised if Oscred goes here and checks who is on the true throne of Baron.
and that Avenger here may very well come in handy here, depending on who is usurping the lower throne.
And if it's a water hag or a mist dragon, you're extra happy.
Extra happy, then you realize I don't have a way to the moon yet. Oh,
Guess what? It's a water
Comment.
hag.
It's a commentator's blessing.
It is. Because we already faced the gauntlet, so we know the gauntlet is not in play here. So it is definitely a water hag. So after this very impassioned speech by Anna, telling us all to fight, but mostly Edward, who's sitting in the audience, Oscred will be in partial go mode. There's one very important thing Oscred is missing. What is it, Harumph? Tell us.
Oscredwin needs to find a way to Zeromus here, either directly with the pass or taking the scenic route with the darkness crystal. Will the water be generous enough to provide one of those? It also means that Sheila has everything today.
And it does. How convenient.
Holy crap.
Wow. Hi. You need a grind. Like, now.
Doors are there.
Yep. You have a Luca key. You have a grind. Because doors give a lot of experience.
And Oscredwin is at 11 key items, so double experience.
I don't think we've seen sirens. If they're in the seed, they're on the moon.
You have an edge, you can steal them too.
Oh yeah, that is true. So yeah, you could steal sirens or you could do doors.
Yeah, like if Porm doesn't have wall yet, yeah, sirens are probably the go-to. Uh, I believe Oscredwin did steal a few earlier, just
Oh, he
4.
did.
So
I didn't even notice.
yeah, so we're looking at about 200 and about 270,000 HP from these fights, and for scrambled eggs, if my math is correct.
Yep, and it's unsurprisingly, Iridia has been designated our agility anchor of the day. She's done for now. She's just going to, take a little nap or maybe examine the floor very closely.
Mhm. And because boxes were available for sale, and I believe Oscredwin did purchase a few of those as well here, you don't necessarily need to get your party to super high levels here in order to take down Zroms.
Yep, we have a fully loaded edge, a Kane and a Cecil that have pretty good weapons as well. We just need to get Porum to a high enough level that she has enough HP to survive a Big Bang, um, which is going to be 18 to 2000 if you're not good at nerfing Big Bangs, and a little bit less than that if you are good at nerfing Big Bangs.
Yeah, I suspect leveling here might go up to Q or 4 for Porum, and then going into the Z fight, depending on how comfortable one is here with going into final
Oh, you're
battle here
right.
with low levels.
One of the Suleiman? Suleiman and Champ pointing out, of course I saw him steal those sirens. I was explaining Cry. Oops. I'm a professional commentary. I know what I'm doing most of the time. Okay, not very most of the time.
Gunn making his way back down to the throne here. Water Hag did prove to be a little speedy here with the party setup he had going into that battle here. So has made some adjustments, and it's um, now making the second visit.
Yeah, physical attacks in this spot do hurt pretty dang bad. But you just gotta bop him 3 times before he bops you 5 times.
I was quite making the trip to Seal Cave here, so probably decided that he's not comfortable with the levels he's got right now. So instead of stealing some more, finding another treasure chest to steal some sirens, we'll take down a few doors.
Yep, there's a bunch of ways to handle these doors. I know really crafty players like reflecting the disrupt spell back onto the door. Some people just try to out DPS it before it kills somebody. Some people will just let them take out a party member and just revive. There's a bunch of different ways to do it.
I don't think wall strats are an option because I don't think Porm has high enough levels for. Is at the level where she's learned wall.
Yep. And actually, it's not terrible that the Manticore appears because you do actually get a little bit more experience if you also kill the Manticore. But that happens, I want to say that happens when the door is at like 20% HP left. I'd have to actually look up the exact number.
All right, Gundampilotspaz does get his pass, and objective number 3, objective 4, the third objective of 5 lit up. We'll see where he goes from here. We do know here where the play here to get the third objective lies, which is via the pan, which is at the top of Zod's. And he only has.
Now, the scary thing here is if he gets the darkness crystal, say by doing Dwarf Cave or Dwarf Castle, that could send him on a wild goose chase.
Yeah, we know where the path lies here. Again, that darkness crystal, again, is in play here, which opens up everything at that, like almost everything at that point.
So it's honestly, and This is a dangerous and delicate situation for Gundam Pilot, that is for sure. Ooh, an environmental technician is our job dwarf today.
Wonder where Job Dwarf has the time to learn all these skills.
I don't know. Some sort of dwarven educational institution, I imagine.
Oscredwin here. Continuing with the grind here. Horm does have wall, and I believe Cecil does have is equipped with an Avenger sword here, so that is potentially eating
Unfortunately,
up some.
the agility situation not quite set up for the wall strats yet.
Yeah, with the when I do wall strats, I'm typically at battle speed 3 years to make sure I get everything buffered in time here. I'm not sure what a spread when the battle speed is here. It might be a little too high potential, a little bit higher here than 2 here, so that might. I did see it go off once here, so I'm not sure if maybe the timing is a little off. But it looks like here he's decided here that he's got enough levels making his way out and likely be making his way to Troya here, cashing in the tickets and making a direct trip to the bottom of the lunar subterranean and Zeromus. Now I'm starting to see a few of blue flags appear in chat here. I'm not sure they're right side up or sideways here. I always thought there, it was a no hook sign here, and just the icon was sideways here. Can you shed some light as to what this means?
Well, that would be a Z flag because it used to be an optional setting, but now you have to go out of your way to turn it off. Zeromus is a difficult boss. His script is very complicated. His stats are very high. And if we randomized his position into the boss pool, it would just completely destroy the balance of the randomizer. So we leave Zeromus exactly where he is in his spot in the lunar subterrane. And instead of randomizing his location or his stats, we randomize his appearance. We have over 525 different sprites that Zeromus can transform into. You never know what you're gonna get. So I would like to ask everybody, whose whose butt are we gonna kick tonight? I do like Fantastodon. Whose rumped is getting thumped? That's a good one.
Yep, whose rear end we're going to upend? No,
that's a good one too. Y'all are so clever. But yeah, this is just a regular Zeromus fight. All of his stats and his scripts are exactly as they would be in the vanilla game, but he's gonna look a little different. Whose booty is gonna go scooty?
Gundampilotspaz finds a Sid, says no thanks, and finds an Ogopogo after getting past Odin.
Well, this is a rude castle.
Hey, you figure here you want to keep, the lightning away from water, but Ogopogo doesn't care about shocks, I guess.
Oh dear, it's Zoidberg. Why
I'm not sure you're supposed to make
Zoidberg?
sushi out of this guy,
but I don't foresee. So the big trouble here is Oscred's Horum is still at pretty low HP. A high roll Big Bang is gonna take her out. So he has two options. Deal with that, just keep one of his berserkers unberserked. Oh jeez. Zoidberg, please.
Yep.
That
Bad
was
things
the
happen when you have Zoidberg.
possible counter nuke.
Zoidberg plus the board AI. Yeah, that par for the course, I think.
But he can either keep one of his characters unberserked and deal with it, or he can try to nerf all the big bangs. Wow, I'm amazed Rydia survived that.
Yeah, that was a very friendly roll.
Or he can just, the third option is you just YOLO it. And just hope your damage doers do enough damage before they die. Which I think without Cecil having an Excalibur or Crystal Sword is going to be a little bit difficult here. Though we do see Edge putting out some pretty good numbers.
Yeah, we're seeing about just over 6,000 per turn here between the two of them. Cecil augment
And
that.
oh no, Gundam Pilot has received a Darkness Crystal from the Dwarven Castle, as I feared. Once you have a Darkness Crystal, doing that keyless tower check is statistically not a good check. So hopefully he commits to the Earth before going to the Moon. But if he goes and starts chasing that Moon, that's going to slow him down a lot.
Well, he is making another check here that we haven't seen Oscredwin do here, which is the sealed cave. Oscredwin only went here to open a few doors. Gunpilot's will be making the full dive down.
That's true. If the Adamant Rock is here, that could bode well, because we also know the Legend Sword is on Earth.
Which would mean Moon is completely haunted today.
Dun dun dun.
Alright, we're seeing a second Big Bang on Oscredwin's side. This one is a
Woo!
full one here, but everyone stays up, so...
Yep, Porum taking it like a champ. That Cure 4 is going to come out and give us another round of damage.
What you don't want to see is like a Big Bang into Medio.
Always a scary situation.
Alright, we use the black hole here so the Berserk status will be coming off here. But more importantly, this gives Porum time here to cure for everyone here. So the worst of it should be over. Knock on wood.
Yep, I think about the only thing that could go. Nope, and there's some rocks. So Oscred definitely has this. I don't think even if all these Meteos hit, it's still not going to be enough to take out his party. Not doing the safety cure 4, but I think we'll still be fine.
Yeah. Yes.
And there's the
There we
shape.
go.
And that's it. Oscred wins the match.
We'll have the official time up shortly.
Yep, I was going to say it, and then I realized it's not up yet. But we will see if Oscred would like to do an interview with us today.
Official time is 1 hour, 24 minutes, and 49 seconds. While we're waiting on Oscredwin here, looks like a bit of a grind here, and looks like he's committing here to full clearing Earth here before going to the Moon. Making his way down State March to presumably try to take on the bosses there.
Oh, and with that blink in Discord, I do believe we are joined by Oscred. Congratulations on your win. How does it feel to be 2-1?
It feels really good. I felt really good about that seed. It took forever to get underground, but if you're clearing objectives and getting key items and dealing with hard bosses like Golbez at Mylon Z spot, that's fine. That's what the time is for.
Mm-hmm. Now, given here that Sheila pretty much had everything he needed, to get through this, to complete, because she like the items she was providing were hard required here. Any thoughts of panic here once you saw, everything went down that path for the most part?
No, I was pretty comfortable. I was a little scared about how long it was taking me to find access to Zeromus. I had the crystal before I had the ability to actually get to Zeromus, but I've been convinced keyless towers just a pretty solid play if you're ready to reset out of it. Was a little bit worried about that because I did some looting on the way up, so resetting out of that, I lose the sirens, I lose the Morasame I found. But that was Pan. I saw that Pan and I was like pumping my fists. That was just a huge, huge find.
Yeah. In terms of the run, you said you felt fairly comfortable here throughout here. Now, when you saw the party here, like at the beginning here, you're seeing two characters here who aren't the greatest in damage. I guess what were your thoughts in terms of how you're going to approach who you wanted in your party here as the seed went on.
I was the beginning of the early part of the seed until I got Kane was kind of just horrible. I kept getting a lot of physical damage loot. I kept getting, and I got the Sand Ruby, so I go right to Kaipo, like, let's get a damage dealer. Let's get, like, even another Porum I can twin. Let's get somebody good. It's Iridia. And that was just a lot of... So it was just a slog to get things that work. But eventually I got a Power Staff, I got an Ogre Axe, I got a White Spear, I got a Cane, I got a Heroine Robe and a Power Staff, as I said. And then then it was, okay, I can do this now. Let's just clear out bosses and key item spots as efficiently as I can, and just try to find those objectives.
All right. You're 2-1 now here, going into the second half of the Swiss rounds here. So you do have a loss to give here before, loss to give here, while still being in contention here for the to make it to the next round here. General thoughts on how you plan on approaching here your 3 remaining matches.
I just need to not choke. Like, I'm pretty confident in my play. My loss, I had a really bad grind and I last locationed my go mode, and I play the bosses like I know they work. I play I do my routing. I stick to efficient looting. Just try to avoid looting anything worse than Cave Eblin. Then I think I'll be good.
Well, the formula's worked out here so far here, so no, I think you're well set here for the second half of the Swiss rounds. KNH here, did you have any other questions or for Oscredwin?
I guess my only question is, what made you decide to do Keyless Tower?
I was already at Fabul once. Keyless Tower was one of the few boss checks I could do and beat. Looking for Water Hag before left, I had peaked both Dwarf Castle bosses. I had peaked the Feymarch bosses. Keyless Tower and Feymarch not Feymarch. Keyless Tower and Sealed Cave were the 2 bosses I could get to, and I was still hunting for Water Hag at that point. And then I like to do as much of the underground as I can before going and fighting and doing the Sylph Cave, unless I'm close to go mode. If I still have a bunch of objectives left, I want to just route as efficiently as I can. So if I can get the Pan in Tower, in Dwarf, in Asura or Leviathan spots, like, that's just so much faster.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Um, Other than that, I think that was my only question.
The one thing that, like, the big mistake I almost made was leaving the Avenger on Cecil going into the Z fight. If I left the Avenger on him, then either I couldn't Zerk Kane, or Porum would have died and I would have wiped. And I had to, like, I think I menued and took it off on the bridge.
Yeah, that would have been scary.
Porum just falls over so easily. One of my practices, I had Porum in a white shirt, wizard hat, crystal ring, life staff, and 5 gold apples, and she dies to a big bang.
And a
Yeah.
partridge in a pear tree, I guess.
I decided, like, last minute, I called an audible and just not going to use. Cecil's not going to deal damage. He's going to help keep Porum alive. Edge and Kane are going to be more than enough to handle that fight.
And it certainly paid off for you.
Real easy Z fight. The Avenger actually made my extra trip into Evelyn to get Bacchus's pretty useless. I don't think I actually used any of them.
But, better to be over-prepared than under-prepared, right?
Mm-hmm.
Any final thoughts on the seed in the race today?
It was a good seed. It started off really slow and then really fast, which is always fun and a little at least a little nerve-wracking. And I'm looking forward to the next one.
All right. Well, GG's to you once again here on an expertly run race, and good luck the rest of the way in the tournament.
Thank you so much.
And while we were doing that interview, Gundam Pilot taking down both of the Feymarch bosses and receiving the Adamant Rock from Leviathan. So now we have confirmation that Moon is completely haunted. There is no value on the Moon today.
Yeah. Almost everything aside here from the but it looks like Gundam is making his way. Uh-oh.
Oh no, go to top of tower, do it, no! Oh boy. Oh.
There will only be sadness at the on the Moon today. Maybe a tower key saves it.
Yeah, the best thing he could do is find a tower key, because that would drive him to the top of the tower. But while we're watching this Lunar Whale cutscene, I would like to remind you that there is one other race being restreamed today. That will be at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on the Free Enterprise channel that you are watching right now. And that will be Solaris versus Twisted Flax. So please check that out. We also have several other races today that are not being restreamed. You can, of course, always go to our wonderful Free Enterprise Discord. All those matches are listed out there, and you can find links to multi-views, and it's a great place to chat about the races, too. You can also always check our Free Enterprise Twitter. We have an official Twitter account. They tweet out all the restreamed information and any updates or upcoming things, so please go check that out. Of course, I'd like to thank everyone behind the scenes today, like Sirens. Wait, no, Sirens are on the moon.
Just on the moon.
Sold by Hummingways. But anyway, we're going to thank everyone behind the scenes, like Euphoric Lemon, who's doing all the restreaming. We got Gambit on the track and making the buttons all pretty. And of course, we have my co-commentator here in the virtual booth with me, Harumph. Without everyone working together, these restreams don't happen. So thank you so much.
Right. Now, of course, with the trip to the moon here that GPS is making, we are going to see some check. We're definitely going to see checks here. We're going to see, what nastiness lies on the moon here. We did as alluded to earlier, we did find that Sirens were on sale at the Hummingway shop.
That is going to
So
make the grind a lot smoother. It gives you a ton of options for grinds. You can, of course, do the classic golden dragons, which the gold and silver dragons are how I did my grinding when I was a wee child playing my Super Nintendo.
what people have,
Ooh,
wait,
vanilla
people,
fusoya.
I was about to say something about random encounters walking back and forth doing a grind, but yeah, the foo is welcome here. Or not.
No,
No
that's
love for
funny.
the
I did this in my last race too. Um,
no love for the mop today.
no, I mean your party's already pretty set. You got your agility anchor. I might have replaced Porum with Foo, but the disadvantage is that Foo does not have a lot of MP. Porum can get off a lot more Cure 4s before having to dip into the MP restoring item pool.
Yeah, it's definitely weighing out the advantage of having a backup white mage here over with a lower MP pool here over having over someone here who will be able to deal a lot more damage here through black magic here once fully powered up.
Yep, and I think the best situation for Gundam Pilot here is finding a tower key and then immediately chasing it. That would be the best scenario.
Yep. Now we know that none of the other key items here remaining here can gate any other key items here, so tower does have to be on the moon somewhere. Well, we still haven't found D-Mist, so yeah. So maybe not.
Should we? I thought we saw D-Mist, but now I can't remember. Anyway, what we're seeing now is Ashura, who likes to cure herself. Unfortunately, Porum does not know Wall right now. That is going to be a little trouble. You can always do the double Star Veil Reflect, which that looks like what we're going to do here.
Yeah, the other strategy you may want that you can be viable with Ashura is life locking Ashura, so having every attack, timing your attacks here so that she'll only ever cast life 1. It's not really viable at this spot though.
And our tracker Gambit pointing out, per the spoiler lock on Oscredwin's side, D-Mist will give the tower key, but we have not seen D-Mist yet this seed. Thank you for keeping me honest, Gambit.
So if D-Mist is on the Giants, oof. There are a lot of nasty places you can still bury a D-Mist, though.
It could always be behind package. That's my favorite spot to find a required D-Mist.
Is it?
By favorite, I mean least favorite, but also favorite.
It's your favorite to watch on a restream, such as this one.
Gundam Pilot in a little bit of trouble here. This Ashura is super, super punchy. And I'm also afraid this Star Veil's going to wear out.
Yeah,
if that Star Veil wears out, it's pretty much game over unless you can get a life lock real quick.
Yeah, with the punches here, you're now doing a lot less damage here than you would like. And of course, here the reflecting aim here with the life ones is always terrible. You get the Cecil back up and try to stabilize here. But down goes the white mage.
Oh, it's still up. I thought that would be... I'm really afraid this Star Veil's going to wear off.
Yeah, it's a significant amount of damage here with and will need to be chewed through here. And I don't think it's
And
going
poor him
to.
trying to get a blink off, but is not allowed to. He's really close to getting through this. If Cecil can just get a few more swings off before the Cure 4 comes out.
Yeah, this is going to be a bit tight. Cecil goes down again, though. Yep. And that blink won't do anything at this point.
Starveil's still holding up. It does last a little bit longer than a casted reflect.
Yeah, it's getting a little dicey now. And the blink timing is not being cooperative. The wall is still staying up for now, though.
Getting another Quake in. I'm on the edge of my seat right now. Because looking at the HP totals, we got to be pretty close here. This isn't the highest HP spot. Got the blink off. That's going to help a ton.
Given that Cecil looks like has the
And
agility,
just in time, too.
this could be dicey now because Cecil is berserked.
Well,
he's gonna need to.
And there it goes. Woo! Good job.
Unfortunately, Cecil's the only beneficiary of the 200,000 experience. Find a ribbon and a crystal armor, and that's it.
That ribbon will be nice. The crystal armor is generally used for money because while it does have terrific defense, it also makes you immune to the berserk status effect, which we take great advantage of in this randomizer. So we don't want to be immune to it.
Yep. Now the Avenger Sword does get around that though here because if you have the Avenger, you're berserk no matter what you're wearing.
That is true. Looks like we are probably going to level now. Because this...
Yep. 4 hourglasses, 10 sirens. Yep, this 10 key items. That was his 10th.
See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
yeah,
and
he had,
10.
He had 10 going in, sorry. So...
Which I only know because Gambit did a great job of tracking. But
right.
Yeah,
so although it's up here, we'll take a little bit to go through here.
This grind will go faster as you get a few of these dragons down, but it's going to be slow going in the beginning here.
The dragons have high physical defense here, so the physical hits here don't do as much as you like here. Once you get to the levels where Paladin gets weak here, the fight does become a little faster here because the dragons here are susceptible to weak.
And so I think the big goal here that you want to accomplish is get that Porum to a level in which she can survive a big bang. Any extra levels you get on your melee characters are also extremely useful. We'll see if he goes as far to get Pelham to nuke and or Porum to white. But obviously he's just leaving that Edward dead. It's going to be a great agility situation there. Starter level Edward has really low agility, so makes a great anchor.
Low agility, curse ring, not an issue. Yeah, with 4 hours, like if he doesn't decide to do as many fights as Hourglass gets 1 life glitch off here. We're looking at 720,000 experience here. Given with the cumulative experience getting up here, Paladin should be at nuke. Not sure. Porum will definitely be at Cure 4 at that point as well here. So, yeah, I don't probably not more than 4 fights, maybe even 3. 3 might even be enough for Porum. Doesn't get the glitch off on that one. I don't believe that was only 120,000 experience, I believe.
But definitely has more than enough sirens to do this grind.
Yeah, worst comes to worst, you can always pivot. You can also pivot to a warlock grind here, where you can get away. Well, you don't necessarily need to have, like new bells here. If you, as long as you have a source, a way here to silence here the warlocks here, that fight becomes straightforward as well.
But yeah, I know when I play, it always hurts a little bit when I go to Moon and it's nothing there, or when I refuse to go to Moon and everything's there.
Yeah, having played 2 seeds where you make it where I've made an early early moon dive only to find nothing there. Yeah, it hurts.
Okay, Gundam Pilot, feeling like that's enough for now. That's definitely enough to take on some of these other lunar bosses. And we'll see what we get. Let's see. We haven't seen Wyvern, I don't think. That could be
No
a fun
Wyvern.
surprise boss. We still haven't seen Mist Dragon.
Yeah, there's a few nasty still out there.
I don't think we've seen Kanazo either. No blue turtle friend. But just some D-Lunars for now. This is a pretty easy
next
fight.
door.
They have so many weaknesses. They're undead, so they're weak to cure spells. They're weak to holy. They're weak to anything that does extra damage against undead. They're weak to fire.
However, they fast here though.
They are speedy. And of course, you can always do the famed Lunar Dragon strats. If you wait long enough without physically attacking them, they will use a breath attack. That attack is reflectable.
Now, Cecil had the Avenger Sword on here, so with the attack, the dealers go into their other script here where they cast Wall on themselves, and then they start reflecting virus spells.
And that is going to make this fight a lot harder, so maybe resetting out of this and taking off that Avenger Sword might be the right way to go. But on the other hand, Cecil's doing some pretty good damage here too, so...
Yeah. Now, there are a few spots here where if the virus, if the magic damage is lower, going into this script here isn't the worst thing in the world here, because the magic will do less than the physical attacks. Here they're doing about the same though. They're hitting about as hard.
Yeah, that is true. The disadvantage of that, though, is the animation of casting virus, reflecting it, and having it cast again eats up a little time, too.
Yeah, but yeah, at least they're not one-shotting them here when the characters are at full HP, so this fight will be smooth.
But we're through. That's a good chunk of experience there, and another key item check. Hoping it's tower key. It's not, it's just some Artemis arrows.
Really handy for a dragon grind if you don't have it. Taking the exit out.
Ooh,
So,
I hope we're going back to tower.
what I think is, I'm not seeing a lot of camping gear on GPSSI here, so this just could be a nap to get the HP and the MP refilled.
Yeah, it's always frustrating when you have to go to the moon, but you haven't seen cabins or tents yet. Yeah, unfortunately, that looks like what is going on here.
Yeah, you're allocated a small number of tents here in your starting kit with under this flag set. Um, Tents here will get you a boost of 1,000 HP, 100 max MP. Not so these won't be like so the tents wouldn't even be full refills here. Um, Giving depending on how much damage you're taking along the way in these battles.
But if you're going to the top, checking this altar up here, that's kind of almost separate from everything else, is a good way to go. I forget. I think this is the
This is Murasame.
Masamune. I think yeah,
Murasame, the pale dim spots in vanilla.
And a Bahamut here should be pretty easy. Our Porum knows some reflect spells. She gets a few of those up, and Bahamut can't even damage us.
Looks like we're going with power overwhelming initially, though.
Not a bad strat.
Yeah. Yeah, probably slow enough. And we're doing a not great job at offing himself, so Hallam helps him out. Enjoy your nap, Eddie.
And I think he's going to put up a safety wall here just to be sure. But doesn't even need it.
Hallam here, 1 or 2 levels away from Nuke.
And you know what would go great with your Artemis arrows? An Artemis bow.
Yeah, you have to coordinate, right?
Mm-hmm. Matching set. Very fashionable. Unless you're a dragon.
Yeah, dragons don't like the arrows. The bows, I think they can take it or leave it.
I'm pretty sure they're allergic to Artemis everything.
Right, Gundam here leaving, I believe, the Crystal Sword altar and the Masamune altar behind. I don't believe those were checked here, and he's going to take a peek at cave value, which we know here doesn't have value, but might provide the most value it can provide is an incentive to go back to Earth.
Yep, unfortunately not finding the tower key yet, and that's... We really, really need Gundam to get that tower key so he has a reason to go up that tower. But Mylon Z here should, It's gonna be punchy, but you can mitigate that with the blinks.
And we'll have enough weaknesses here to a lot of things here. Weak to fire, weak to cure spells.
Immune to Quake, though. Despite how it looks, Mylon Z is in fact hovering slightly above the ground, and thus is completely immune to the Quake spell.
Yep. If the boomerang were in the inventory here, that would be a great thing to have on Edge right now. Yeah, but yeah, there's the fighters. They are going fast enough here where this won't be.
Yeah, that fighter 3 doing 8,000 damage.
And falls over.
And Porum does know white now, so that can be used in the Z fight if you find a window. And a crystal sword, well, that's good in a way because it's going to make our Zeromus fight super speedy. But it is not a tower key in any way.
Yeah. Milo was holding it because he didn't want to get hit by it.
Probably. Asuka, of course, telling us to sell the crystal sword.
Selling items is only as much fun as what you can buy with them here, and Gundam is making his way back to Earth, so hopefully he's thinking here the the path to the objectives here does lie on Earth, and will take care of the rest from here, we hope.
The one nice thing is does have that pass and already has enough levels to take on the Zeromus. I was gonna say, I think he's been through Baron already, so this is, yep. Uh-oh,
Uh-oh.
fighting cabins. That indicates to me we're going back down to the moon, but maybe not. Knock on wood. Oh,
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 we're getting warmer,
oh,
warmer.
this could be good. Yay!
Provided here this is not a chest hunt here, Gundampilotspaz is now on what we know is the right path.
Excellent. And it was still a really good play. Gundam here did nothing wrong. It just, you make the wrong choice. The top of the tower is a low percentage play. There's only one, if you don't have the tower key, it's only one key item check, and he just decided I'm going with the statistically higher odds. Unfortunately, it just didn't pay out.
Pay off here, and to the point here where this is hard required. Because 2 of your key items here are directly from the pan check that comes from this. So yeah, Rando will Rando here, and luck was the results. While the pathing was fine here, the results here weren't on Gundam Pilot. Of those checks here weren't on Gundam's side tonight.
Yep. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. Just Rando's gonna Rando.
Take
This
a visit
wall
at
is
these
a little bit speedy, but we're also putting out a ton of damage, so I don't think we're going to get to the crush phase.
No, not at all here. This wall's going to come tumbling down very quickly.
Our good old friend, the dancing wall.
Yeah, like this will only be like a few more hits tops.
Especially with that Crystal Sword Avenger combo.
Yeah.
5,000 damage. On Berserk time. You do want this Porum to stay alive and get the little bit of experience here, but we're good. Ooh, and Pelham learned to nuke, so that is handy.
Yeah, so we can look at hybrid strats as well here. Reflecting, bouncing off nukes here to supplement the damage here that Edge and Cecil will put out. GVS will presumably be making a beeline to the Self Cave.
Most likely.
Wake Yang up in frustration, or making sure that Yang's okay. Because we do want to make sure here that he's not oversleeping or overstaying his welcome.
Yeah,
and then
sleep is important. You don't want to throw off your sleep schedule. It just starts affecting your entire life.
What's the sleep schedule?
Exactly. Time is an illusion. Time zones doubly so.
Yeah, fortunately here we didn't have to change our clocks here because we never found Wyvern.
But while we're going through this, I do want to remind you one more time that there is one more race happening today here on the Free Enterprise channel, and that will be at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, speaking of time zones. That is between Solaris and Twisted Flax. I know I will be watching that one while I'm eating dinner, and I hope you will too.
Just don't order your dinner from Sheila tonight. Maybe avoid
Yes, because she is cutting tails off of animals with a legend sword. I imagine Gundam's gonna go turn that in right away. Won't even be talking to Sheila because why? You have go mode. And we'll be taking that pass right to Zoidbergmus.
No, yeah, I don't blame him on passing up on dinner. Now it's a matter of, remembering where you parked your hovercraft.
That is always the hard part.
Yeah, they didn't come with key fobs back then, sadly.
No, and I imagine there's not a lot of, clearly marked hovercraft parking spaces.
It's not like parking was strictly enforced.
No.
Alright, so we do have the fourth objective. The crystal is in hand. With the pass here, no need to take another trip up to the moon. Just take a visit to Troy here and take the shortcut.
Yep, and GPS here set up for pretty much a perfect hybrid strat. We got some hard-hitting physical attackers. We got a nuke, we got a white, we got a Porum who is in a good situation to keep us all alive. Should go, we have almost a perfect agility situation with our Edward. So this should go pretty smoothly, bar a big bang directly into Media.
And even at and at these levels here, even CISO should stay up.
I don't know why there's C flags. We already know who it is. But it is a really good emote. The Z flag is a quality emote, and I don't blame you for using it as much as you possibly can.
What if the game glitched out and we do have a different Z flag?
That would probably be grounds for a official review of the race. That would probably keep Scala and the rest of the official review board busy for the evening. If somehow this were not Zoidbergmus.
And that all the other key items lay in place perfectly.
All the key items, characters, and bosses were randomized exactly the same. I don't know, Scala, is there a Z flag Zeromus sprite? I don't know if that's in the sprite pool already or not. Scala with the coy answer of maybe.
We'll take that as a yes. Which does make me a little bit sad, though. Here, it's a nice flag. You don't want to deface it.
It's I don't think I've seen that one yet. If it does in fact exist.
All right, it's been a bit of a long trip for Gundampilotspaz here, but Zoromus is going to be taking the brunt of, any frustration he may have had along the way. A little bit of catharsis is will be arriving soon here. A little bit of relief.
Right after this Gur-Erg. That is a great sprite.
That was a fast shake. That was a really fast shake. A really fast big bang. What? Oof.
Oh, so what might it because I've run into this situation multiple times, what might be happening here is that Edge's agility is so high that it wraps around. In that case, it's actually the best thing to do is put Edge in the middle slot. I want to say when Edge gets to about 47 is when the modular arithmetic wraps back around again. And I do know our Edge is fully kitted out and pretty high level, so that actually might be what's going on here. Yes.
It's hard
to quote Rowdy Rod Sniper, it's when we move from agility into edge agility.
Yeah, living on the edge is not ideal in this case. Because even if you didn't have a curse ring on Edward here, all your characters should be at RA1. Well, we'll find out here if the adjustments here that GPS has made here will change the battle speed up here.
Just slowing the battle speed down here should help too. Well, Edward's up first. That's a good sign. You want to see one shake and then a crystal. If you get two shakes, that's a bad sign. So this looks better, but we'll see.
Yeah, please. Palom is going to get the star belt up here to board the reflect strats here.
Yeah, this already looks a lot better. But you do want to get that silk web. There we go. Yeah. Okay, I feel like this is a much better start.
Yeah, and with the Berserker, with Edge Berserker, at least you've got a few more entries here to jam up the queue here.
That's a decent counter nuke too. I mean, ideally, like Edge to take the counter nuke, but Cecil has enough HP. He can take that counter nuke and probably still survive a Big Bang. Woo! 4,000 from that Edge is nice, though. And Cecil's in Avenger mode, so we should really start seeing the damage pump out here.
Yeah, with those two here, looking at probably well over 10,000 per round with Cecil and Edge combined. Well, close to 1,200 there. Palom with getting a nuke ready here. Yes, one Big Bang, that should be the last Big Bang, mostly.
Most likely. I still think there's a small chance of a second one. But it'll be fine.
If it does go in a second, you do run the risk of Big Bang straight into Meteor here. If you get Cecil at full HP here, he should be able to take both hits though. And with him being Avenger here, he can't take him out of Berserk. Yeah, 2 hits. That'll be the fight. There shouldn't be any issues going on. You could probably even set down to controller at this point.
Probably. Yep, gonna get one more nuke off here. We should be just fine.
Another cure for just playing it safe here, not taking any
There's a second shake. But I feel like this nuke is probably going to tip us over into final phase.
Yeah. Yeah, there's enough damage going through here. We'll probably see Medio shortly.
Yep, there's the rocks. It's all but over now. Cecil, 3/4 of the party, dodging the rocks. And there we go, a flashbang boom, and Gundam Pilot has finished with a time of roughly 2 hours and 11 minutes. We will see if he wants to do an interview today. And I think that might be him.
Good afternoon. Let me mute that. Good afternoon.
Yeah, GG's Gundampilotspaz. Yeah, your thoughts on the seed overall here? The random here was not kind, apparently.
What a miserable seed. What a horrible experience. Oh my god. I think about the time I saw the second Porum is when I was maybe I should just go back to sleep. I don't know if today is going to be very kind. Yeah, it was certainly a seed. There's so much in that early game could have gone better for me. I mean, we'll talk about the early game because I think that's where a decent chunk of I think my time loss probably was. The fact that I peaked the treasury after doing ordeals, which I really was trying to do ordeals purely for the little extra experience at that point. But the fact that I pulled that Leviathan after then, I felt like the amount of time that I spent looking for a decent summon and then or a dancing dagger and then doing those bosses without the Leviathan, it probably was not in a position to win at that point anyway. But then of course the hard required keyless tower was a pretty big slap in the face on top of it.
Yeah, that was quite unfortunate here. Like, I thought it looked like here you're making some choices here to try to get the advantage back here after the early setbacks here. But fortunately, everything went through here one road today.
Yeah, I mean, when I saw the finish, I think right as I was getting the darkness crystal. And at that point, it was okay. So it's either Fey March bosses or Ribbon Room, or of course Keyless Tower. And at that, I faded Keyless Tower just because I knew Ribbon Room was the denser check, and really, by statistically, one of the two key items I needed should have been up there. But at that point, I wanted to check for the sirens anyway, which I was lucky enough to find. I assume Oscredwin did a door grind or something similar, since he never got the darkness crystal, so he never found sirens or anything.
Yeah, he did a door grind.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah. So that. I was kind of happy I had to reset at a sealed cave just so I could keep it those early doors for the door grind, just in case I had to go back in.
Yeah, but like there were a few. I believe Oscredwin did steal a few sirens as well here.
Oh, right.
Yeah. All right, now your record now here is at 1-2 here. So so to qualify for the brackets, you do need to go unbeaten the rest of the way. Given how your seeds have gone so far here, how do you plan on approaching here the second half here because you're not out of it yet here? how do you plan on approaching these your final 3 matches?
I just, I gotta play as well as I can. Is I guess the the easy answer, the easy and hard answer. The start, I did a lot of things that in a traditional strategy I wouldn't do. I mean, I looted way more than I would have. In the majority of these seeds, I have not done any shopping, but the party here just forced me to try to find some source of power, and then of course continuing down that rabbit hole when I didn't find it. So those kind of time saves are things that I've been continuing attempting to do. And it works out pretty well because the powerful items are plentiful on these seeds, and decent characters are plentiful as long as you can get to them. So even the Cecil, like if I had to go if I had to go to the moon with Cecil with an ice brand, it would have been harder, but it wouldn't have been the end of the world. But of course, I was happy to find the light sword. But each of those stops is just time. So minimizing the unnecessary looting and the shop checks are, I think, key to just making up the extra time needed to pull out. But no matter where you are right now, whether it's 1 and 2 or 0 and 3, like there's terrifying runners out there at every single in every single pool. So no one who has entered this tournament is a slouch at this game. It's just how well your routing is going to treat you and how the randomization is going to play out in your favor.
Well said, Gundam. KNH here, did you have any questions?
No, that was you covered about everything I was going to say.
Any final thoughts on the seed, Gundam?
My final thoughts. It seems like I got what I needed after it was required. I found the Thor Rages after I had gotten through Octomom, found the Leviathan after I cleared a couple bosses. I certainly don't think I played the low-level, low-power party poorly in this seed. However, if I just took it just didn't work out. The randomization just was against me this time. And I look forward to the next rude one that our restreamers are going to throw at me. But thank you so much to both of you for doing comms. Thank you to Gambit on the tracking, and Euphoric Lemon on the restream. I'm sure you all did a great job, and I look forward to watching the VOD back later.
All right, so again, GG's here, Gundam here on a rude seed, and best of luck here with the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Take care.
Okay, I think that's pretty much it from us for now. Do remember there is going to be another race at 8 p.m. right here on Free Enterprise. And I think with that, we're going to take you over to Taven Games, who is de-rusting some Free Enterprise as we speak. So I think that's it for me. So unless, Rumpf, if you have anything to add, I think that's going to be it.
Aside from be back here for 8 p.m. Eastern here for our final featured match of the night.
Okay,
It'll be a great one.
y'all.
See you then.